What up? Dímelo, ¿cómo está todo el convete hoy? Espero que tengan excelente día y una buena semana. Mira, hoy vamos a aclarar un par de falsedades que andan ahí predicando a la gente, un par de mamarreatas. We're gonna clear up some things today regarding my message and everything I do on social media, man. You know, I don't consider myself necessarily a creator like some of these other cats that are doing this YouTube thing as a career, as a job or whatever. I'm a member of a 1% motorcycle club, man. So everything I do on YouTube and social media in general is geared toward making life better for my brothers in my club and also members of other 1% clubs, and clubs in general. If my material, if my message can help members of clubs make the right moves, avoid senseless violence, avoid putting more of their brothers in the ground, avoid funneling more of their members into the prison system, then my goals are accomplished. I'm accomplishing my goals every time my message helps somebody make the right decision in this life, And I think that that's the reason that certain people get so worked up by my message, man, is because they know it's the truth, man, and the truth hurts. You can't stop the truth. The truth has a certain ring to it. People recognize the truth when they hear it. And if you're a person that's got a selfish agenda, a manipulative agenda, and somebody comes around spitting the truth, of course it's going to get you worked up. You know what I mean? At first, it tripped me out, man. It had me tripped out, asking myself, why would somebody get so worked up over my message? Why would somebody let it get them so, just worked up, I guess? And it dawned on me, man. It's like these people that fund conflicts around the world, the people that are behind civil wars in third world countries, shit like that. You ask yourself, why would anybody want genocide to continue or war to continue? And the answer is because they are getting rich off of it. They are profiting off of it. And I think it's the same with certain provocateurs in the MC world, creators and people with a voice in this culture. I think there's people out there that, profit greatly from the turbulence in the MC world. So of course they want to keep it going. You know what I mean? It's like I said, man, I just couldn't figure out why anybody would want to keep things like senseless violence and criminality in motion. Why they would advocate those things, Because essentially that's the message, is like, yeah, this is the underworld. This is a criminal culture, and that's the way it's always been. So either embrace that or get the fuck out. And that's horseshit, man. No true 1%er is gonna buy that shit, man. And that's the whole thing, is the people that push that type of shit, to me and to any real 1%er, they are the ultimate fanboy, is what they are. Anybody that pushes that type of shit, that wants to see senseless violence continue in the MC world, they're the ultimate fanboys. When they see two clubs going at it, they don't see, the loss of life of a brother or the imprisonment of a good brother. They see like figures on playing cards, going against each other. To them, it's a game or something, So I guess I'm just trying to figure out why my message gets certain people so worked up. And my message is real simple, man. It's very simple. It's always been the same. It'll always be the same. And, basically my message was formed, created, forged, whatever you want to call it. My message was created and based on two interactions that occurred with my club and other clubs early on in our existence. Essentially, when we started Los Perros Motorcycle Club, man, a lot of us were coming from a certain street gang. In fact, certain members of the club early on in our existence were doubling up as active members of this gang and patched members of Los Perros. We're not the only club that has ever done that by a long shot, but it's not something we would do now. But at that time, I guess you could say we didn't know any better. And the first interaction we had with another club was some of my brothers who happened to be doubling up as active members of that gang and patched members of Los Perros were at a gas station. And it was up in the DC area, just outside Washington, DC. And, this 1% club rolled up on my brothers at that gas station. Had never seen my brothers before. We were a new club. And, they rolled up with that, who gave you permission, this is our town, whatever. And what they didn't know was this particular gas station had a fence separating it from a neighborhood. So on one side of the fence was this neighborhood and on the other side was the gas station. And this neighborhood just so happened to be a stronghold of the gang that these brothers were part of. So essentially with a few quick, snaps and whistles and phone calls, a little bit of that you know what I mean? The numbers were rapidly in my brother's favor. And, thank God, because who knows what would have happened. But essentially that first interaction kind of shaped our view of the club world right away. We were up in arms right away, immediately. We were ready to go to the death. And, if you ask my bro, Black Dragon, he'll tell you that's around the time he and I met. And he was, he'll tell you he was worried that we were going to get ourselves killed. Either we were going to get ourselves killed or we were going to end up killing somebody and going to prison ourselves. And he was right, man. We were up in arms at that time. And then, shortly thereafter, I got contacted by a president of a chapter of another major club here in my state. And total opposite, man. He hit me up, totally respectful, totally humble. Basically, he said, hey man, I see you guys are getting something built here in Virginia. My club has been in Virginia for a long time, and I would be honored if you would come and hang out and chat with us and, get to know us, build a friendship with us, you know what I mean? And being that he was so, respectful and humble, we did. And, that particular individual is my brother to this day. That guy that was a chapter president at that time, he actually went on to become the national vice president of that club. And he is somebody I call brother to this day, as are many of the guys in that club. We eventually, we ended up hanging out with that club, building very strong ties with that club. And, the moral of the story is you catch more flies with honey, right? And what it is these major clubs, what they need to understand is they don't have to do the whole be my friend or I'll punch you thing. You know, they don't have to do the whole do what we say or we're going to hurt you thing. You know, they have nothing to prove is the whole thing. And that's what we saw with this second club. The second club that we came into contact with in our state was the complete opposite of that first club. The first club immediately showed up, beating their chest, negativity, you know, do this or else, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. And the second club was polar opposite, you know. Total respect across the board. Humility across the board. But along with that respect and humility, we saw clear as day who they were. They walked softly while carrying a very big stick. They could have very easily turned it into a do what we say or we'll hurt you situation, whatever. But they didn't. They knew they didn't have to. They inspired our loyalty and other people's loyalty with their righteousness. That's the message. That's the message that I have always tried to convey on my videos and elsewhere, is as a legendary major club, you don't have to do the whole do what we say or we're going to hurt you thing. You know, you cannot force loyalty. That is what my message has always been. You cannot force loyalty. You must inspire loyalty. And if you're a major legendary club, it should not be difficult for you to inspire loyalty rather than forcing it, right? And that's my message, man. I mean, if people take my message, especially the people that get all worked up by my message, they take it and they twist it and they put words in my mouth and, you know, they turn it into something completely different than what it actually is. And, you know, honestly, in all honesty, I believe that, like I said, man, the reason that they do this is because they are profiting from the turbulence in the MC world, man. It's no mystery that law enforcement is after us and has been for a long time. But it's also no mystery that they are becoming more and more effective in their the measures that they're taking against us. Whether it's misapplication of, what's it called? 4602, Penal Code 4602 in Texas. That's a perfect example of the powers that be coming after motorcycle clubs in the United States. Bill of Rights or no Bill of Rights, Constitution or no Constitution. That's a perfect example right there. The misuse of 4602 in Texas. Penal Code 4602 in Texas states that no member of a known documented gang may carry a firearm. And what they've done in Texas, what they've started doing because of all the violence, the senseless violence, okay, they have turned it into a law that they can use against motorcycle clubs. You know, they roll up, they pull you over, they find you with a gun, they hit you with that law, take your gun, and their reason is, I mean, how can you not call yourselves a gang? You guys are getting indicted left and right, you know? And that's my message as well, is, you know, this, your favorite biker. Love that dude, man. Your favorite biker's a good cat, man. He said it best in several of his videos. He had a video called The Common Denominator, right? And essentially, what he was saying is the same thing I've been saying for a long time, which is, you know, if there's a group of guys that just wants to do their own thing, be left alone, wear a patch, they are mindful of etiquette in the club world. They're not out there stepping on toes, bad mouthing, messing with anybody. Literally, all they want is to be left alone. And some big club rolls up on them, messing with them, you know, do this or else, give us your patches or else, this, that, and the third. Violence then ensues. Now, who's at fault there? You know, and why would anybody want to keep that going? You know, and like I said, it's because they are profiting from it. So, you know, there's no question about whether or not the powers that be are able to build more and more effective measures against our culture. They are. Whether it's the misuse of 4602 in Texas, misapplication, or international laws that ban entire clubs from entire countries or prevent international travel of certain clubs. I have a 1% diamond tattooed under my eye. I cannot fly into the country of Australia because of that. And there's probably a few other countries that won't let me in because of that. You know, and these are measures being taken against us. And the thing is, my message is, and always has been, in that regard is, why would we hand it over on a silver platter? Is it that important? Is this notion of, you know, do what we say or we're going to hurt you, is it that important? Because it hasn't always been this way. I promise you that, man. Clip that I found the other day, an interview that George Christie did, man, recently. He said it clear as day. He said, the pivotal moment for me was when I realized we were becoming the very thing we once rebelled against. This is George Christie, 30-year president of the Ventura Hells Angels, okay? The most well-known club out there. He said it plain as day. We became the very thing we had once rebelled against. And he went on to say, when he came around this culture in the 60s, 70s, it was a live and let live atmosphere. These are his words. He said, when I came around this culture, and he names off a bunch of the old 1% clubs, he said it was a live and let live atmosphere. But once you get money and power involved, people turn into something else. And it's not always a good something else. These are his words, right? So if you've got somebody that's that high caliber, somebody that did that much in this culture, saying the same thing that I'm saying, the same thing that your favorite biker is saying, the same thing that a lot of people are saying, then obviously we're not that far off the mark, man. And it begs the original question. Why would somebody be hell-bent on maintaining and keeping criminality and violence in place? It's ridiculous. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But, you know, like I said, it dawned on me. It became crystal clear. It didn't make sense to me until I put two and two together. The people that want the violence and the criminality to continue are people that are profiting from it. Plain as day, man. Plain and simple.